Paul McGuire Grimes, KSTP, Minneapolis, St. Paul. Tessa and Nnamdi, I'm really excited to talk to both of you today. I really love this movie. It's such a good old-fashioned love story, and it kind of was whimsical and just beautiful the entire time. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, you both are involved not only as leads in the movie, but as producer. Yeah.
Hey, Paul, rapid fire question. What's your favorite film behind you?
Stand By Me.
Nice.
I have about 7 copies of it behind me.
Well done. Well done.
Thank you. What did you, how does producing this movie enhance your performances in a way that you don't typically get when you're just acting in a film?
Well, you know, I mean, so I'm also playing a producer in the film. So I think, you know, it was incredible to continue to fall in love with producing and what it requires. You know, this idea that you could have to problem solve, that you could lose a location and suddenly have to reorient, the scene to make sense. The real creative producing, I think, was a joy. And so it enhanced to be playing a producer and also be producing at the same time. I think, you know, gave me a sense and a feeling of agency that I'm not sure you have in a thing when you're sort of a hired hand showing up.
Look, I don't have many examples of not being the producer in the film that I'm acting in. I'm in one of my first, or I guess the first thing that I did. I was an actor in Friday Night Lights. I happened to introduce Michael B. Jordan's character into the series. That was so I gave him his start in the business. But, you know, I think one of the benefits as a producer and an actor is that you see the full story. I mean, you know every character in a way that you might not if you were just the actor. You know the sets, you know how you just know the intricate pieces of it in a real way.
I rewatched Friday Night Lights at the beginning of the pandemic just to get me through. Clear Eyes, Full Hearts Can't Lose. Like, I had to just get something good to watch. Yep. If someone wanted to just start listening to jazz, if they're like, I want to start listening to jazz, what would be the musicians, the albums that you would hand them as like, here's your introduction to jazz?
I would say Miles Davis' Kind of Blue. If you ask Nnamdi, he might have to offer inside of the smooth jazz category of them.
Oh, listen.
Yeah. Nnamdi, when you used to listen to a lot of smooth jazz, what were some of your favorite records? I'm really asking.
Listen, if someone was getting into, I'm not gonna go to my favorite. If someone was getting in, I would say listen to a Kenny G Christmas album, and you know that'll probably set you apart from the rest of the crowd. But if you didn't want to do that, then anything Coltrane. I think anything Sonny Rollins would be great. I think anything from Monk. I think Billie Holiday. I think, it's endless.
Oh my God, I love that. I love your banter back and forth together. Like it's just great to like listen to and watch with co-stars and then hopefully friends. I don't know. Did your appreciation for jazz change throughout?
Oh, come on, Paul. Don't do this. You're giving her fuel.
I'm sorry, you must know. So prior to making this film, Nnamdi listened to really only smooth jazz, and so he had to really.
So she would say, my answer is yes. My appreciation for jazz grew with this. Yeah, is this an inside joke here, Paul, or what's going on?
No, I'm just curious. Like, I'm just loving our conversation. Unfortunately, we have to wrap it up. But thank you so much. I'm really excited for people to see this movie. It was really wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Paul.
Paul McGuire Grimes, KSTP, Minneapolis, St. Paul. Eugene and Ryan, I really enjoyed this movie. It's such a beautiful, old-fashioned love story, and it kind of brought me back to a really special place. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Paul.
Yeah, Eugene, I read that you were inspired by old photographs of your family. What made them so special and influential on you on this piece?
Just a sense of nostalgia that they evoked in me, and also they told a different story of Black life in the 60s than I had seen depicted in film.
I think that the jazz is obviously a key element of this film. Were all the music choices written into the script, or did that kind of come in post-production with the music supervisor?
No, a deal of the needle drops, as we call them, were in the script, starting with the Nancy Wilson Nearness of You that opens the story. Yeah, I wrote a lot of it while listening to these songs, so they found their way into the script.
Nice. Oh, I love that. Now, Ryan, did your appreciation for jazz evolve throughout making the movie?
No. And I will say I came to it with a great deal of appreciation for jazz and jazz music. My mother is a jazz. Asking you, Eugene. My mother is actually a jazz singer. So I grew up going to jazz festivals all over, up and down the East Coast. And, you know, as you guys were talking about music, it takes me back to all of the CDs that I would listen to from my dad. And, you know, so it just, for me, it was like coming home.
Now, if someone maybe doesn't listen to jazz or is like thinking, I want to get into that and I've never taken the time, who would be those artists? What are those albums that would be like, here's your introduction to jazz?
Well, one of the fun albums that, you know, the Nancy Wilson did some collaborations, one with George Shearing and another one with Cannonball Adderley. And those are great because they're real jazz musicians, but it's also has all these really great, terrific songs. So it's easy to listen to. The orchestrations are really catchy and nice. So that's a nice place to start. And then, of course, you can start moving into John Coltrane and Thelonious Monk. And you can do Coltrane for Lovers, which is great with Johnny Hartman. So it's half sort of instrumental jazz and half these beautiful love songs.
Yeah.
For someone who really just wanted to get into it, I would say start with, Duke Ellington, maybe. You know, because so many of those tunes are tunes that you're going to recognize from just different things. But he also was, you know, a jazz master. And I think that, you know, and lyrically, if you get the lyric, oh my God, you know. So I think I would say start with that. But I would listen to Eugene first.
Eugene, with Tessa and Nnamdi being not only your leads, but also producers on the film, how vital was that to have them involved behind the scenes?
It was really, really important because what they had, besides their talent, is access, you know, that I honestly didn't have, you know, and they really kind of opened up their access to other actors and their relationships they used and were able to, you know, get the script to people that, you know, I couldn't get the script to before I met them. So it was really nice. And it really kind of, they understood that they were creating in me someone who could hire them for the rest of their lives. So that was smart.
Well, thank you so much. I'm really excited for people to see this movie. I think it's so beautiful and a great love story, and the jazz is so beautiful to listen to too. So I'm excited for people to see this. So thank you for that.
Thank you. And Minneapolis is a very special place in my heart. I performed at the Guthrie a few times. I did the summer experience at the Guthrie.
Oh, wow.
No way.
I love Minneapolis.
I wish I would have like delved into that more. I've done 2 shows there myself, so like we love the Guthrie here. It's phenomenal. Like, so I'm so happy to hear that.
Oh my God! Anytime you want to connect over the Guthrie, you just let me know.
Oh my God! Yes, Ryan, that's great. Yes. Thank you so much. It was so great.